I've been talking the whole time, but no one's been able to hear me. We're back on the stream again. It looks like the console's going to look to the inside here of turn 1. And looks as though Lightblade's got it at the moment. Lightblade, we've heard, has got damage to his car, so this is a matter of when the console gets by. Surely at the moment, Smithy right behind these guys. A little bit of contact there between Smithy and the console, and Demobi's going to look to the inside of Smithy here as they come through turn 4. He's going to look to the inside here. Is he going to pull alongside? He's going to go for a move. As it looks like Demobi's going to go for a dive, but Smithy there closes the door on him. Those guys side by side, going very, very close racing between these guys. Lightblade at the moment, damage to that car, being absolutely hounded and hassled here by the console as they come through turn 5. A little bit of a lock up there from Lightblade in the lead of the race. The console really looking hungry for this position.
I have no damage.
I thought you said you had damage. Sorry, mate. So we got Lightblade leading the race here. Just with but the console absolutely all over the back of him. He's been pushing him for the last few laps. He's been having a look through every corner we've seen. A few lockups here from these guys. Lightblade not showing the pace that we saw in qualifying at the moment. He was absolutely dominant in our qualifying session, but in this one so far it's not gone to plan at all. Here he comes down the straight. It looks like the console's made the move here, coming down this long back straight. Is he going to make the move on the inside? Yes, he is. The console up into P1. Can he hold it, or is Lightblade going to try back on the outside? They're going to go side by side to the next corner. It looks like the console's going to push him out. There we go. The console squeezes Lightblade and it's up into P1 here on lap 3. But console's gone very, very wide, and is Lightblade going to go for a move? Lightblade fighting back. And he's going to dive up the inside, lock up there from Lightblade. Looks like the console holding it around the outside. Good driving there from those guys, keeping it clean, keeping it tidy. And the console now, our race leader. This is a train of 5 cars battling for the lead here. The console, Lightblade, Demobi, Grandesty and Smithy all going at it here around the final corner. Looks like there's not much to separate these guys at all at the moment. Stealth Sheep in the background also closing on to this little pack. Tuggy Bear says, here he is. Talking about Luke Bennett there, showing up in the chat here. Good to see Luke, multiple winner of Thursday Night Lights here, showing up, and winner of the RTC last season. Lightblade goes back up the inside here, turn 1. Looks like he's made the move. And the console's going to find himself open to an attack here from Demobi as they go side by side through turn 3. Looks like Demobi's going to have the console here. He's going to push him out, and looks like Grandad Steve may be able to follow him through. The Grandad Steve's going to have the slipstream here of the Demobi. And is he going to go for a move up the inside of Alex? No, thinks better of it. Alex staying on the outside here of Demobi. Very, very close here between these guys. Tuggy Bear says, how's it going, Luke? Good to see Luke here in the chat. Tuggy Bear also. And lock up there on the outside there from Demobi. He's going to go a little bit wide here. The console is alongside him as they come under the Rolex bridge. The console looks like he's got the move back again. This is non-stop action here in round 4 of the RTCC, our sprint race here at Catalunya. In the background there, the Grandad Steve looks to be getting involved. Is he going to go up the inside here of Demobi, of Smithy, sorry. It looks like he has done. Yeah, these guys are going to go side by side though. Looks like Smithy's held it on the outside. Good driving there. Smithy just about staying ahead here of Grandad Steve at the moment. Stealth Sheep there just watching this all unfold. And who's gone very, very wide there? And it looks like Demobi. Demobi's dropped back to P6. There was contact there between Demobi and Smithy. And that's not going to help him one bit. Smithy, very, very sportsmanlike there. Dropping back and allowing Demobi to retake the position. And on the outside here, it looks like Grandad Steve has around it's got around both of these guys. So Grandad Steve, the major benefactor here in that little tussle between Smithy and Demobi. Grandad Steve up into the final podium spot. Lightblade has got it together here a little bit. He's pulled out the gap. He's now almost a second clear of the console as they complete lap 4. We've got Grandad Steve third. Stealth Sheep is up to 4th place. He's been just very, very quietly pushing his way up the field here in the opening few laps. And we can see in the background there, Demobi's having a little look there up the inside of Stealth Sheep, but thinks better of that. Maybe just trying to distract him in the mirrors, trying to get him to make a mistake there. And Smithy has dropped back to P6, losing out massively there on that last lap. And it looks like Demobi's going to look to the inside here of Stealth Sheep as they go side by side through turn 3. Looks like Demobi's got that position. Stealth Sheep is on the outside here, and he's going to find himself open to Smithy, but Smithy's not going to go for that one. Smithy's got to be careful on this lap after the contact there with Demobi. I'm sure he'll be wary of that, and won't want to be going for too many moves just too soon after that incident. But he is going to try around the outside here at turn 5 in the background there. Smithy and Stealth Sheep side by side. Looks like Smithy can't make that move around the outside there. Too much of a risk. Didn't want to get pushed out onto the gravel, or maybe worse, even spin the car. Smithy very wise backing out of that one at the last moment. The console must have had a moment here, because he's dropped back off of our leader Lightblade. He's 1.6 seconds behind him, so Alex losing time here on this lap so far, and he's falling back into the clutches here of Grandad Steve. Grandad Steve's had an absolutely flyer start to this race. We're on lap 5 of 10 here for the sprint race. and looks like Lightblade here has got it absolutely flying at the front. We saw him take a dominant pole position in qualifying with 7/10 of a second clear of the rest of the pack, and we've seen all through practice here Lightblade shown incredible consistency, and really is absolutely taken the Tier 1 RRTCC by storm so far. Was second and third last week in our races at Brno, and so far in this one at Catalunya has been class of the pack. Lightblade over the line, half distance here for this sprint race. The console second, we got Grandad Steve following him not too far behind. Demobi and Smithy very close now as they come down the pit straight. Is Smithy going to go for a move here down the end of the straight? He has a little look to the inside, but he thinks better of that one, and Stealth Sheep just behind him, still biding his time. We saw Stealth Sheep gain a couple of positions with the little incident between Smithy and Demobi, but it looks like they've got back past Jeff here at the moment. And in the background, I'm just having a look, it looks like Lecky is closing in onto these guys while they battle, and the console's dropped back. The console's had a moment there through turn 3, maybe a slowdown penalty or something, but Grandad Steve is up into P2. It looks like Demobi and Smithy there having to dive out of the way. Lock up there from Demobi as he tried to avoid the console, driving towards the end, to the right hand side there. The console losing lots of positions here. He's going to try back up the inside of Smithy and try and gain that position he just lost, and he's going to do so. A little bit of baggy wheels there, but I think that's RubbingsRacing as far as these guys are concerned. I'm sure Smithy won't be too worried about that one, but very close, very fair racing in the end. The console back up a position after losing a lot of time there coming through turn 3. Didn't see what happened, but he's lost absolutely heaps in the process. Grandad Steve up into P2. Lightblade has run off with this one so far in the sprint races. We see the console and Smithy go very wide there going through turn 8, all way off the curve onto the almost onto the gravel even, as the console looks to the inside here of Demobi. Thinks better of that one. Demobi at the moment holding our final podium spot. He's had 5 out of 6 podiums here so far this season. He's had an incredibly consistent record so far, our championship leader. I'm sure we'll be hoping to keep that one up in this round here at Catalunya this evening. At the moment it looks like Demobi doing a stellar job here, as is the console, and Smithy, Stealth Sheep, these guys battling over the final podium spot. And as we talk about this one, it looks like Lecky's definitely closing on these guys as well. Lap after lap after lap he's been gradually eking into the lead of these guys, but it could be too little too late at this stage. We've got 4 laps to go here for the sprint race, and it looks like Lightblade has got this one, barring any kind of major incidents in this one. Grandad Steve is just about holding on here ahead of Demobi. These guys, this trade have actually closed in on Grandad Steve, and he can find himself open now to our championship leader. In the background looks like the console's had a little bit of a wobble there coming out of turn 2, and he's going to find himself open to an attack here in the inside from Smithy. Here he comes side by side. Stealth Sheep also looking with his lights on as well, looking like he wants that position. Smithy up the inside into P4. Can Alex fight back on the exit? He's going to get a nice run here, pull back alongside him again. He's going to be on the outside, side by side once again. Is Smithy going to keep it on the inside? Yes, he does. Late on the brakes there, Smithy. A little bit of a lock up, and Alex is going to go back up the inside. Contact there between the two of them. Not too much of a contact though. I think that was fair enough as it is. It looks like Smithy just about holding on to the position there, but Alex is going to look to the inside here of turn 9. Can he make the move? No, he thinks better of that one in the end. All the time, Stealth Sheep is watching this battle unfold. Lecky's drops off for these guys. Must have had a moment there in the first sector, because that gap is a lot more than it was a moment ago. In the meantime, what's going on with our leader? He's still pulling out the gap, 4 seconds almost. Lightblade is clear now of Grandad Steve, who is in turn falling into the clutches of our championship leader. Smithy has gone very wide there through turn 9, and the console's going to pull alongside him here, but it looks like Smithy with a better exit just about, and console not able to pull alongside at this stage. Looks like Stealth Sheep there still hassling the back of the console. The battle for P4, 5 and 6 rages on. Looks like Demobi's got away from these guys, and so Grandad Steve and Demobi with the battle for second place to themselves at the moment. But we've still got 3 laps to go here. Lightblade's just crossing over the line to complete lap 7 of 10 here for the sprint race here for the RRTCC. Thank you everyone for joining us on the stream. Let us know who you think is going to get this second spot. We've got Demobi and Grandad Steve going at it, as Smithy and the console and Stealth Sheep right behind them as well. Lightblade looks like he's got this win in the bag, but these guys, this 5-car train here for P2, Demobi, Grandad Steve, Smithy and the console and Stealth Sheep as well. Who's going to get it, guys? This is going to be a very close race. It looks like Demobi's gone very wide here. He's got past Grandad Steve, but he's gone very wide there as they out of the turn 2, and Grandad Steve's going to pull back alongside. Maybe no, maybe not, maybe a little bit too far back. Demobi with the move. Our championship leader is up into P2, and next up Grandad Steve may find himself open to an attack here from Smithy. He's going to look to the inside here of turn 4, but maybe too far back at the moment. In the meantime, just Console's dropped off just a little bit off of off Smithy, but he's still right there. I wouldn't say dropped off. He's just not right on his bumper like we've seen for the last few laps. And here we come. Is he going to have a look here? Maybe not close enough at the moment. 4 seconds Lightblade's got on these guys. This is all about the battle here for P2, and Stealth Sheep with an error there has dropped off of this pack. So at the moment it looks like we've got a 4-man battle here for second place. Oliver Marseille says, let's go boys. Ollie, your favourite driver of the console, currently P5. He's right behind P2 though. There's a 4-car train battling over P2. Who's going to get it, Ollie? Who do you reckon's your favourite for second place in this sprint race? We see a lock up there from Demobi trying to defend from Grandad Steve. Grandad Steve not letting this one go. Keeps fighting in this one. He's not going to let Demobi take his second place. He was in that position for so long in this race. He has a little look here coming into the final sector now, but thinks better of that one. Lock up there from Grandad Steve trying to avoid contact there as we come into the final chicane. And a lot of Grandad Steve goes bouncing over the sausage curve, but Demobi a little bit loose there coming out of the final corner. Grandad Steve can be right on his bumper here as they come out onto the pit straight. In the meantime, it looks like the console is right up the back of Smithy as well. Stealth Sheep's dropped off for these guys over the line to start the penultimate lap here. Grandad Steve is going to pull to the right hand side, to the inside of Demobi. Can he make a move here coming into turn 1? And the console right behind these guys. That's a perfect parallel image there. Unbelievable. Grandad Steve back up the inside into P2. The console takes a move on Smithy, but Smithy looks like he's going to have the better run out of turn 2. And he's going to go back up the inside. But great move there from Grandad Steve. Retakes second place after Demobi hunted him down and overtook him. And Grandad Steve driving a hell of a race here in this sprint race. This season hasn't gone to plan for Grandad Steve so far, but he's driving fantastically well here at Catalunya. He must love this track very much, and it looks like Demobi's still right there, still trying to grab that position back off of him as Grandad Steve locks up there coming through turn 5 and up under the Rolex bridge there. It looks like Demobi's going to get a nice run out of this corner, and Smithy here still with his mirrors absolutely full of the console. Stealth Sheep's dropped off of these guys, and Demobi's going to try and is that Grandad Steve on the outside there? Runs over the gravel. It looks like Demobi's going to pull away here. It looks like Grandad Steve tried to make the move and in the end had to back out and went over the gravel to avoid contact there. Disaster for Grandad Steve. He drops back to P4 and he's going to have his mirrors absolutely full of the console. This is going to split up the battle here between Smithy and the console now. But Smithy finds himself in P2, but he gets a little bit of nudge there from Grandad Steve. Runs into the back of him coming through turn 9. Nothing doing. Bit of Robbins racing. It is what it is. But at the moment it's got Demobi here leading this 5-car train now. The battle for P2 still rages on. Lightblade is about to start the final lap here of this race, but it's all about this battle here for P2. Can Demobi hold on? He's got Smithy right behind him. In the meantime, Grandad Steve in the console, bumper to bumper as well, and Stealth Sheep has closed on to the back of these guys once again. So could he make this a 5-man battle here for P2 as they come out of the final corner now? It's Demobi, Smithy, Grandad Steve, the console, Stealth Sheep. Lightblade is a race leader, ladies and gentlemen, but he's absolutely run over into the sunset. You just saw him in the foreground for a very brief moment there, coming through turn 1. But we got Demobi, Smithy, Grandad Steve coming into turn 1 now, heavy on the brakes. It looks like Demobi's got a bit of a gap here to Smithy. Grandad Steve hassling the back of Smithy here for P3. Alex is just watching this in the background, dropped off of these guys a little bit. It looks like these 3 guys, Demobi, Smithy and Grandad Steve, very, very close on the track. You could put nothing between these guys. Smithy having a little look to the inside, thinks better of it. Demobi, championship leader, fantastic consistency so far this season. I mentioned earlier, in the 6 races that we've had so far this season, he has had 5 podium finishes. If he stays the way it is at the moment, he will make that 6 out of 7 so far. And but he's just got to get around this last half a lap here, which looks like he's going to do it. Smithy here trying to distract him, but even if Smithy does get past him, it will still be a podium here. And Alex looks to the inside there of Grandad Steve, very close, almost pulled alongside him. Grandad Steve gets a little bit loose there going through the chicane, and the console's going to pull alongside him. Can the console go around the outside here of turn 8? It looks like he might do. Oh no, a little bit loose on the exit, and Grandad Steve keeps the position. Stealth Sheep also inherits 5th position there, so the console not with a very good move there, and the console very late on the brakes, back up the inside there of Stealth Sheep. Grandad Steve goes very wide there on the exit of turn 9. It looks like Stealth Sheep's going to go around the outside here with the console. Yes, he does. The console with a slowdown penalty for track extension there. Lightblade, race leaders, absolutely dominated this sprint race here for round 4 of the RRTCC. He's going to bring it out of the last corner now. Flawless drive here so far, flawless event for Lightblade, at the moment. It's see if he can keep it together for this feature race and continue this dominance that we've seen in round 4. Lightblade takes the win here for our sprint race. Demobi holds on for second ahead of Smithy, then Grandad Steve fourth, but he's got a penalty by the looks of it, so he will drop back. Grandad Steve loses fourth to Self Sheep with the penalties included. The console sixth. We got Lecky coming over in seventh, was hunting those guys down for a little while in that race, but ultimately was too far back to make an impression. Kembo drops to ninth. Or drops way back with a penalty there. Thorsten Schmidt classified in 8th place with Bobby Dazzler 9th. 10th, Lion's Foot completes the top 10. We've got Kembo 11th. Uni Clark, runner-up in last season's championship for the RRTCC, finishes 12th. And that Katadu rounds off the field for our sprint race. Brilliant driving there from Lightblade to take the win. Absolutely dominated it from start to finish. He had a little bit of a hairy moment on the first few laps. He had a train of cars right behind him, but it looks like he's responded to that early pressure and absolutely run away in the second half of that race. Smithy just about holding on there for second place ahead of Demobi. Guys, thank you for joining us on the stream, and lots of you jumped in just at the end of that race there. Be sure to join us in about 5 minutes time for qualifying for the feature race. RRTCC, we do it a little bit different here at RubbingsRacing in this league. It's 2 qualifying sessions preceding each race. There will be an additional 10-minute qualifying session starting at around 5 minutes time for the feature race, so stay tuned for that. We'll be back on very shortly. We're going to take 5 minutes to get drinks and stuff like that, and then we will be back on air very shortly. See you guys in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on for qualifying for our feature race here for the RRTCC. Thank you for sticking with us. We're at Catalunya here for round 4. Currently riding on board with Thorsten Schmidt at the moment. Only BMW in the field. And Thorsten was new to the RRTCC for last week when we raced at Brno. He's a regular in our GT3 championship as well. Has been getting a few podiums over in our Sunday league. Did a good job actually on the last Sunday when we were at Fuji, and he's doing a nice job here in the BMW. Got a fantastic start in our sprint race in the last one, but then had a spin on the first lap which drops him way back down the field after that amazing start. Very unfortunate to see. Let's see if he can get that BMW power a little bit further up the order here in this feature race. We're currently in qualifying, 7 minutes to go in our qualifying session here for the feature race, and then we're going to have a 12-lap feature race with a mandatory pit stop just to throw an extra challenge into the race for these guys to have to deal with as we watch Thorsten coming around the final turn now and see if he what's sort of lap time. I think this might be an outer lap actually, so this is not going to be a time lap at the moment. Is anybody on a time lap at the moment? Let's keep our eyes on the rest of the field here as they come over the line. I don't think we've had enough time in the session for anyone to do an actual time lap yet. Let's try and figure out who's furthest up in the pack at the moment. I reckon it's probably Lightblade. Here he comes over the line. What's Lightblade doing? I think, no, that's an out lap as well, isn't it? Yeah, that's an out lap. Where's Smithy at the moment? Smithy's usually pretty quick out of the blocks. No, he's going through turn 1.
Come out the pits.
Alright, so Smithy's still on the lap. Thorsten taking a very wide entry there into turn 4. But it seems to be working for him. He was right on the curb there. I don't know if he was off the track even. He might have got a warning there from the race director. He was very close. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he got away with that one just about. What else is going on? So let's have a look. Let's ride with, who are we going to ride with? Let's go with our championship leader, Demobi. So Demobi had a 27-point lead in the championship coming into this race. Has done a fantastic job so far this season. 6 podiums from 7 races so far. A bit of a lock up there as he comes into the final section of the lap. But it's been an absolutely stellar performance so far from our German driver. Only blip so far this season was the feature race last week at Brno, where he ended up P9 after maybe a poor strategy in the pits. Here he comes out of the last turn. I don't know if this is a flying lap for Demobi. We're about to see when he comes over the line. We'll be able to know if this is a time lap or not. Here he comes. Demobi over the line, and it is a time lap. It's a 151.9, so it's 1.3 seconds off of the fastest time that we've seen so far for this event. Stealth Sheep over the line, P2. That guitar dude has displaced Stealth Sheep, and the console goes fastest of anybody with a 151.6 there. Alex sitting P1 at the top of the leaderboard so far and qualifying for our feature race, and it's the other guys are just coming over the line now. Bobby Dazzler goes P2 in the background there. Is that Uni Clark? I'm not sure. We'll have to figure out when they come over the line. That's Lion's Foot there, going P6 at the moment, and behind him Smithy there, as invalidated lap time from Smithy that last one, so he's going to have to go around again. Oh, it's an out lap, sorry. So Smithy just starting his first flying lap now. Obviously Smithy started fourth in the sprint race. Usually goes pretty well in qualifying. He's a very, very quick guy, over one lap, and quick in the race as well. We'll keep an eye on Smithy to see how he progresses in this qualifying session for the feature race. So, order at the moment: the Console, Bobby Dazzler, Moby are top three in qualifying for the feature race here for the RRTCC round 4 here at Catalunya this evening. Thank you guys for joining us on the stream. It's always a pleasure to have you with us on the RubbingsRacing stream on the channel. If you're interested in getting involved in RubbingsRacing, go to www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Be sure to hit that that sub, like and bell button, and be sure to donate at www.rubbingsracing.co.uk as well. See what the timing screens are showing us at the moment. Looks like the Console is putting right onto the back here of that Catalunya. It'll be interesting to see what happens here, because these guys both on flying laps. Technically that Catalunya under no obligation to move over for the Console, but having said that though, I think he's matching his pace here coming through the middle sector, and does he a little bit of a lockout there coming into the last chicane, but keeps it together here, that Catalunya, riding the sausage curve just a little bit on the inside, not too much curve on the exit, and staying off that curve on the right hand side through the final corner. Here he comes, driving the Mild 7 livery here, very famous, made famous by the Fernando Alonso winning the championship for Renault in the F1 2005-6 season. Here he comes over the line, not enough for an improvement that time from that Catalunya. In the background the Console comes over the line, not an improvement for him either. Says P2, Bobby Dazzler over the line, what's it going to be for him? Not an improvement either. Lion's Foot's coming through the final corner. No, it's not Lion's Foot, that's it is, that's Lion's Foot. Here he comes, and Lion's Foot P6 moves up a position, displaces Grandad Steve for P6. Smithy over the line, not a particularly good lap from Smithy. I'm sure he'll go again. He's going to have 2 laps left in this feature race qualifying session to try and stake his claim for pole position, which is currently held by Demobi, who's improved on his lap time. He's gone faster than anybody so far, 0.3 of a second he's got to the Console at the moment. Lightblade, our pole sitter and sprint race winner, still yet to do his lap at the moment in this session. Here he comes over the line, what's it going to be? That's an out lap for Lightblade. He is going to have 2 attempts at getting pole position here for this feature race. Lightblade obviously has had such a good record so far in this event here at Catalunya. Took pole position in the sprint race, took the victory in the sprint race, was fastest in all the practice sessions. Is this going to be another pole position here for Lightblade? We'll wait and see. Sorry about that, we just very, very quickly clicked out of the pit monitor there and we ended up on the lobby screen. Apologies for that on the stream. So let's see what these guys are doing out on the track. We've got Demobi still out there on a lap. The Console coming towards the end of the lap now. The Catalunya is also not too far in front of him on the track. Self Sheep, where is he? Coming up towards turn 7 right now. Grandad Steve's just coming out of the pits. He might just about make it round in time to do a lap time. Lecky coming into the first corner. Grandad Steve's going to have to watch out for Lecky here as he comes to turn 1, which he does do. Good driving there from Steve. Moving out of the way of our RRTCC coordinator there. Great job there from Steve, and Lecky with his lights on, letting him know he wants, he's motivated and hungry to get pole position here in this feature race quali session. Had fantastic pace near the end of the sprint race. We saw him homing in on the guys at the front, but it just wasn't enough. Too little too late for Lecky in the sprint. I'm sure he'll be looking to make up for it in the feature race here this evening. It's going to be 12 laps with a mandatory stop just to throw an extra element into the race. Demobi's coming over the line. Is it an improvement? It's not an improvement for Demobi, but he's currently provisional pole position. Lion's Foot's right behind him on the track. Lion's Foot P7 at the moment. Smithy still not improving on his lap time. He's going to get one more go at putting it on maybe the front couple of rows here, potentially pole position if he can get it ahead of Demobi. We'll have to wait and see. Smithy currently second in the championship on 145 points, 27 points off of the championship leader Demobi. Let's see if Smithy can get it hooked up here in the final stages. Currently sat P11 in this session. If he doesn't improve, that will not be a good starting position for Smithy. Lightblade, pole position for Lightblade, provisional pole position. He's gone 0.03 of a second quicker than Demobi. Very, very tight at the top of the standings for qualifying at the moment. Lightblade absolutely flying, keeping up the form that we've seen so far this evening, and really has thrown down a marker for these guys here at Catalunya. Is absolutely flying, and that's nowhere near what we've seen from Lightblade so far. He's still 0.6 off of his personal best. We're expecting Lightblade to improve that on his last lap, but you never know. Consistency is key to a good lap time here. We've got Bobby Dazzler coming through turn 9 now. Is Bobby Dazzler up on his time? We'll have a look at the split times and try and get that figured out. No, Bobby Dazzler's bailed out of that one. Bobby Dazzler out of qualifying. Stealth Sheep pits from P5. He's put his car up to P5, but he has bailed out of that one. So it's all down to Lightblade and Demobi, or Grandad Steve's over the line. He's going to start one more lap here. Linesfoot, Thorsten Smith, Lecky, Smithy still out there on lap times at the moment. It's all down to these front two guys. Where's Lightblade on the track? Where's Demobi on the track? Demobi's further up. He's coming through turn 10 now. What's it going to be? Here he comes into the final sector. Currently sat P2 in qualifying for this session. Championship leader has bailed out by the looks of it. Demobi has pulled out of the lap, so Lightblade, is he going to try and rub salt in the wounds? No, Lightblade says no point. He's going to save the fuel, save the car for this feature race here as they're bailed out of that attempt. So it looks as though Grandad Steve is the only one out there on a lap time at the moment who can maybe disrupt the flow of Lightblade and Demobi. He's got a slipstream here from Lecky here as they come up towards turn 9. Can Lecky improve here in his final lap of the session? Currently wrestling the car through turn 9, keeping it nicely within the white lines. A little bit of curve on the exit there, but keeping it good. And it looks like is he bailed out? He has. Lecky has obviously cut the track at some point, got a race director warning and bailed out of that lap time. Thorsten Smith puts the BMW up into P7. Fantastic effort there from Thorsten. Grandad Steve, the only man who can take pole position away from Lightblade at the moment, I believe. Although having said that, I think he is. He's literally the only one who can do anything here in the final seconds of this qualifying session. The session is over. Anyone on a lap can finish their lap, but it's only Grandad Steve who's still on a valid lap time at the moment as he brings it into the final sector now. A little bit of curve, massive amount of curve. Gets very, very loose on the third to last corner. A little bit of a lock up into the second to last corner, and he now takes a little bit of sausage curve on the inside, bit of curve on the exit, avoids the curve on the right hand side coming through the final corner. Grandad Steve currently sat P8 in our qualifying session. Is it going to be improvement? Can he put himself on pole position? Here he comes. Grandad Steve over the line, and it's not going to be enough to improve his lap time. So Lightblade is going to start for the second time this evening on pole position. Our sprint race winner there, maintaining his dominance, but not by as much in this one. Only 300ths of a second to the good of Demobi, our championship leader. The console and Bobby Dazzler are going to line up behind these guys on row 2. Then we've got Stealth Sheep and Uni Clark 5th and 6th. Thorsten Schmidt in the BMW doing a fantastic job, putting it mid-pack there. Grandad Steve will line up alongside Thorsten in 8th place. Then we've got that Catalunya and Lions for 9th and 10th. And we're going to wait to scroll down. So let's take a screenshot of this. And then we've got Lecky 11th, Smithy 12th, and Kembo rounding out the field. Kembo not having a great evening so far, but I'm sure he'll be wanting to make up for that in the feature race. I'll be back on the stream in just a second. I've just got to run and get something. Everybody to Catalunya. We are here for round 4 of RubbingsRacing's Touring Car Championship this evening. It's been a very, very good racing so far. We had a hell of a battle for P2 in our sprint race. Lightblade in the end walked off with it a little bit towards the end of the race. Had a 5-second gap coming over to the checkered flag, but the battle between the guys behind him was absolutely fantastic. And in the end, I think there was about a second separating the 2nd and 5th on the last lap, so we're hoping for some similar type of racing here in this feature race. You alright? So anyway, we're going to about to get going here. So it's Lightblade lined up on pole position, Demobi alongside him on the front row. We've got the console Bobby Dazzler behind these guys, Stealth Sheep, Uni Clark. Then 7th place Thorsten Smith. I'm sure we'll be expecting him to get off the line well. These BMWs absolutely fly off the start compared to these Renault Megans. We're about to go racing here for the feature race, 12 laps with a mandatory pit stop here at Catalunya. Lightblade on pole, Demobi will be looking to get him off the line as soon as possible. And we are underway. Looks like a good start there from pole position from Lightblade. Demobi gets absolutely bogged down off the line. Bobby Dazzler already alongside him. Bobby Dazzler makes a hell of a start. He's already passed the console. Going up the inside here of Demobi. Here we come into the first corner now. Demobi on the outside. Looks like maybe he's picked up after that not so great start. And Thorsten Schmidt up into P3 already in the BMW. We're expecting that. It looks like Lightbait's holding on the inside. Demobi putting alongside him here, coming through turn 2. Bobby Dazzler gets back past Thorsten Schmidt. Thorsten Schmidt dropping back after that amazing start there at the beginning. Looks like Uniclark's up to P6. Self Sheep is in P5. We've got Grandad Steve, that guitar dude, Lecky, Smithy, Lionsfoot, Kembo, and Thorsten has dropped way back again. Thorsten, after making an unbelievable jump off the line, has dropped back to last place already. Disaster for Thorsten Schmidt. Contact there between that guitar dude and I think maybe Bobby Dazzler, was it? I'm not sure. And there's contact again. It looks like that guitar dude and Kembo come together here at turn 3, or turn 4 should I say. And we've got side by side between Self Sheep and Grandad Steve. Grandad Steve trying to hold it around the outside here, coming into the Rolex grid. Looks like Self Sheep's got that position. Self Sheep maintains P6 at the moment. In the meantime, Lightbait leads the pack. Demobi second. The console is in third position. Bobby Dazzler right behind these guys. Uniclark, hell of a start from our man from Swindon. Runner-up in last season's RRTCC. And as we come up the back straight here, it looks like Lightbait's got a little bit of a gap here to Demobi. The console breathing down Demobi's neck. We saw these guys have definitely been battling out so far this season. We've seen a lot of battles between these two. It looks like Lightbait gets it a little bit wrong there through turn 9, and Demobi's allowed to pull right onto the back of him. Lightbait, sorry, we've seen takes him a little while to get going here in these races. Last race we saw he had a train of cars behind him for a good couple of laps before he started pulling out the gap. So maybe it's just a case of getting those tyres warm and getting those brakes up to temperature for Lightblade. But once he does, he absolutely gets that thing flying as he brings it out of the last corner now. He's got 7/10 of a second gap here to Demobi as they come out of the last corner to complete lap 1. We got the console breathing down Demobi's neck in third place. Then we got Bobby Dazzler, Uniclark, Self Sheep, Grandad Steve, Lionsfoot behind these guys. And we can see some pit crew has already come out of into the pit lane, so somebody must be bringing it in. In fact, we've got 3 guys bringing it in. Smithy, Thorsten and Lecky all coming in for their mandatory pit stop on the very first lap of the race. Interesting strategic call there from these guys. Let's see if it can pay off later on in the race. We'll have to keep an eye on Thorsten, Lecky and Smithy and see if these guys have done a bit of a masterstroke here in this race. But at the moment it looks like Lecky leading those guys out of the pit lane, or no, Smithy, sorry, leading those guys out of the pit lane. In the meantime, Lightblade leads by 4/10. Demobi in the console not letting him get away though. Bobby Dazzler's dropped a little bit off of these guys. He's got Uniclark to attend to at the moment. A little bit of a lock up there from Lightblade going through turn 5, but he's keeping it together at the moment. Very, very close. Bumper to bumper racing at the moment. We've got a train of 5 cars here battling over the lead of our feature race. 12 laps with a mandatory pit stop. Thank you everybody for joining us live on the stream. If you want to join Rubbings Racing, go to www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Get yourselves involved in the action. A little bit of a wide exit there from Lightblade going through turn 8 there, but it didn't cost him too much time. Wonder if he'll have a slowdown penalty for that one. But Demobi looking like he wants that position. Console's going to go for a dive here up the inside of turn 9, but he's had to back out of that one at the last second there. Thought about it, then in the end pulled out of it, but Demobi's got it all wrong going through the exit, and the console's going to put alongside him here. These guys are going to go side by side as they come through turn 10. It looks like Demobi's going to hold it on the inside just about, but the console looking like he wants that very, very much so. Well, in the meantime though, Bobby Dazzler's pulled back onto the back of the console while the console was trying to battle Demobi. As they come through the final corner now, it looks like Bobby Dazzler's bringing it in for the mandatory stop. Here we go, Bobby Dazzler, 4th man to bring it in. Is anybody else going to bring it in for the mandatory stop? Let's keep an eye on the pit entry. And I'm just hearing team radio that Bobby Dazzler does have a drive-through penalty, so he is serving that drive-through. And I don't know if any of the other guys that came in had drive-throughs. I hope not, because it would be very, very confusing for me on the stream if they do. But at the moment, Bobby Dazzler serving his drive-through penalty on the second lap here. So Lightblade leading the way. Demobi the console not letting him run away with it at the moment. It's just a second separating these top 3 guys at the minute. In the meantime, Uniclark's dropped off of these guys. He's got Self Sheep all over his mirrors. And in the meantime, Grandad Steve also looking like he wants 5th place. Grandad Steve's going to go for a dive up the inside here of turn 4. Can he make the move stick, or is Uniclark going to hold it on the outside? Oh, sorry, Self Sheep going to hold it on the outside. It looks like Grandad Steve's up into P5, but Self Sheep is going to have the inside for turn 5. Is he going to make the dive? Looks like he might. They're going to go side by side. Grandad Steve very wide onto the gravel. Grandad Steve dropping lots of time there, and Lionsfoot's going to look to Grandad Steve here. Can he make the move? Well, I don't think he's close enough. Grandad Steve is going to hold on to P6 just about, but that is a disaster for Grandad Steve. Grandad Steve, oh, Scotty almost loses it coming through turn 6 there. Turn 7, sorry. I think, but he had to slam the brakes on there to avoid Grandad Steve, who was flailing a little bit. So Scotty there in the end doing the right thing there and absolutely slamming them on to avoid contact. Good job there from Scotty. In the meantime, Demobi's taking the lead of the race. Lightblade had a moment there coming through the middle sector, and Demobi is now a new race leader. Lightblade is going to find himself open to the console now. The console looking absolutely all over the back of him, right up his bumper, but Lightblade is not letting the Demobi get away with this one. Demobi on 2 wheels there, coming through the third to last corner, just about keeping it together here. 3 in a line as they come around the last corner. We have got Demobi, Lightblade and the console going at it here at the end of lap 3 for our feature race. Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube live on the RubbingsRacing channel. This is going to be a hell of a battle here between these guys. And we've got Demobi, Lightblade and the console less than half a second separating these guys. Are any of these guys going to go for a move here coming into turn 1, or are they going to think better at that one? Lightblade is going to have to go the long way because Demobi's going to go very defensive, and Lightblade very late on the brakes. Looks up going into turn 1, and Demobi's going to have the position held onto. It looks like the console's going to follow Demobi through and take the position off of Lightblade. Lightblade's opportunistic late braking manoeuvre there did not pay off as well as he would have thought it would, but Lightblade's still on the back of the console at the moment. Demobi leads the way, the console and Lightblade right there. Uni Clark in the meantime has been able to close in on these guys while they battle each other. Last season's runner-up in the championship, doing a good job here in the feature race. He tends to go better in the feature races, does Uni Clark, as does the console, but the console so far this season has shown that he's got just as much credentials in the sprint races as he has in the feature races. And bumper to bumper here, the Demobi just about holding on from Alex here as they go hard on the brakes into turn 7 chicane. Demobi there losing a lot of the curve on the exit, almost cutting the track. I don't think he would have got a penalty for that though. He was keeping it within white lines just about. The 2 wheels on the track at all times. That is the rule in racing, as we see Demobi getting a little bit loose there on the exit of turn 8, and the console's going to look to the outside. Demobi going defensive very early. The console late on the brakes. We can hear that pedal going slam there, and he's looking to the outside, but he's going to lose the position to Lightblade. In the meantime, he went for that move, was too ambitious there on the outside, and Lightblade's going to go past Demobi there. Demobi gets loose. He keeps getting loose on the exit of turn 9, and he keeps losing positions. Every lap we see Demobi getting loose and getting it all wrong going through that corner. Lightblade is back up into P1. The console is right on the back of him now as well. Uni Clark in the meantime closing ever closer onto the back of these front 3, and Stealth Sheep doing what he did in the swim race as well, just creeping into contention in this one. Demobi pits from second place. Lightblade leads the way 9/10 of a second. He's pulling out the gap now to the console. He's doing what he did in the sprint race. He's pulling it out after 4 or 5 laps. He starts really getting going, does Lightblade, and the console now is going to find himself open to Uni Clark. Is Uni Clark going to go for a move going to turn 1? No, Uni Clark thinks better of that one. Uni Clark very, very patient, very good driver, very clean, very fair, and we know he's not going to go for a dive unless he's absolutely certain that he can pull the move off. But these guys are being combed in on now by Stealth Sheep. Stealth Sheep was actually 1 second faster than the race leader last time around. So he is definitely closing that gap at the moment. We'll have to keep an eye on Stealth Sheep as he creeps closer and closer and closer to these front guys in this race. Kembo's brought into the pits. Our American driver, 3rd in last season's championship, currently P12, was brought in for his mandatory stop. In relation to the guys who have already been in, Demobi, Smithy, Lecky, Granasty and Thorsten, he is way behind the pack. Must have had damage to that car. Lengthy repairs in the pit box for Kembo. This race has not gone to plan. This round, this season in the RRTCC has not gone to plan at all well for our American from Pennsylvania, coordinator of GT5 and Thursday Night Lights and moderator on our Discord. It's really not gone well at all for him at the moment. He's down in P13. Hopefully Kembo can make some gains on these guys ahead of him, Smithy, Lecky, Grandesty and Thorsten, in the remainder of this race. In the meantime, Lightblade pulling out the gap at the moment. He's got almost a second to the console, but I think the console in this middle sector has definitely closed the gap on him. And Uni Clark not too far behind the console either. So this battle for the lead definitely raging on. We've got to keep an eye on Demobi, guys, because Demobi has been in for his stop. He has got a penalty though. Let's see what the nature of this penalty is. It is a 1 second penalty. So Demobi already been in for his mandatory stop. He's going to have a chance of closing in on these guys later on in the race. And we just got to keep an eye on that timing screen, because pit stop here in the touring cars is about 30 seconds. So if Demobi can get that gap to within 29 seconds or something like that, then he's going to have a great chance of taking this feature race here. 12 lap feature race with a mandatory stop. Everyone's got to come in. So it looks like Lightblade, the console, Uni Clark, Stealth Sheep, Lions for that guitar, Bobby Dazzler still need to come in for their mandatory stop. Bobby Dazzler, I'm not sure though. Bobby Dazzler, no, he came in for a drive-through, so Bobby Dazzler still needs to do his mandatory stops. So, what you're seeing, guys, on the timing screen, 8th down to 13th, they've all done their mandatory stops. 1st to 7th, still yet to make their stops. That's the state of the play at the moment, just keeping you all up to date in case you're just joining us on RubbingsRacing's channel for round 4 of this RRTCC. Lightblade currently leading the pack. He's pulled out a little bit on this lap so far to the console, but the console keeping him within his sights and staying within that slipstream at the moment. Clark's dropped off with the console a little bit. The console's responded to our man from Swindon's pace here, and as he come through the chicane, looks like these guys keeping it very tidy on the exits at that corner so far in this race. But Lightblade doing a stellar job. We saw him take the sprint race in dominant fashion. The guys behind him were too busy battling each other to make any inroads on him, and he absolutely rode off into the sunset. He's not having it all his own way this time though. At the moment he's still got the console firmly behind him, and a little bit of a lock up there from Lightblade. You can see he's feeling the pressure at the front here, but let's keep an eye on Demobi and see what Demobi's doing. Demobi, having already been in for his mandatory stop, will gain massive amounts on these guys when they come in. He's got 30 seconds at the moment, but a pit stop is around 30 seconds when you account for stopping in the box and everything that goes with it. So Demobi in the box seat to potentially be on for a win here, and our race leader Lightblade's in the pits. The console follows him in. Clark also into the pits. Stealth Sheep into the pits. All of the front guys putting into the pits for their mandatory stop here. Lionsfoot follows these guys in as well. The Cactar dude is coming into the final couple of sectors. Is coming into the final corners now. Is that Cactar dude going to follow these guys in to make his mandatory pit stop as well? He is. Yes, he is. So everyone has come in for their mandatory pit stop now. This is going to release the other guys. Let's see if Demobi has done enough in his laps out of the pits here to take the lead of the race, or is Lightblade going to get an absolutely fantastic pit stop and stay in front of him? Demobi, our championship leader, Bavarian from Germany, coming out of the final corner now. We've heard a team radio that Lightblade has been held up in the pit box, so this could be the lead for our championship leader. Demobi maybe extending his advantage at the top of the standings. It's going to be very, very close. You can see Lightblade on the right hand side there. Demobi is going to have him out of the pits. Demobi gets the undercut here in the feature race at Catalunya and is into the race lead, but we know he's got a penalty. Having said that, Lightblade and Stealth Sheep also with penalties. So the state of play at the moment, Demobi leading the race with a 1 second penalty. Lightblade second with a 2 second penalty. Stealth Sheep also behind these guys with a 2 second penalty. The console without a penalty. So the console in a good position at the moment. If he can get closer to Lightblade and Stealth Sheep, maybe in with a chance of a podium here in our feature race. And could potentially put it in first if Demobi has some kind of problem. And here we go. Looks like the console's trying to make a move up the inside of turn 5. Bit of a lock up there from Alex. He's keeping it together, hassling the back here of Stealth Sheep at the moment. In the background here, looks like Smithy and Clark very, very close on the track. Smithy's lost out massively in the pit stops here, has not had the pace out of the pits that we sort of expected from him. A little bit of a lock up there coming through turn 7, keeps it together at the moment, but not too great there in the pits from Smithy. Lecky is running 7th. Looks like he's got past Lionsfoot here, and Grandad Steve right on the back of Lionsfoot as well. Grandad Steve with a penalty by the looks of it on the screen, on our telemetry screen. Thorsten Smith, what's he doing? Currently running in the top 10 position at the moment in the BMW. Nice job there from Thorsten. Let's keep an eye on our lead battle here. Demobi has the race lead, 3/10 ahead of Lightblade, but Lightblade with a 2 second penalty. Demobi with just a 1 second penalty, which means that if it stays as it is, even if Lightblade manages to get past Demobi, he still has to finish a second in front of him on the track if he wants to win this feature race. We're on lap 7. We've got 5 laps left to go here for the feature race for the RRTCC round 4 here at Catalunya. We've got Demobi just ahead of Lightblade. Lightblade very, very close here to come down the pit straight. Just 0.2 of a second separates these guys. Can Lightblade go for a move here? Coming to turn 1. Demobi goes defensive very late in the braking zone, but holds on the inside there. Lightblade's going to have to go around the long way if he wants to get this done. We know Demobi very, very clever, very wily on the defensive front, and keeping that position. Good driving there from our championship leader, looking to extend his advantage over Smithy here at this round, and he's doing that very nicely so far in this feature race here. In the background there, the console has got round Stealth Sheep here for P3 into our final podium spot. Can Alex hunt down these front two while they battle it out? It's worth a shot. Alex, if he goes after this guy, these guys could potentially be on for a race win here if these guys come together, or if he can get within a second or 2 seconds even, then this could be race on here for our man from Norwich, although he does have a lock up there going through turn 4, sorry. Keeps it together though at the moment. In the meantime, Smithy and Uniclark going wheel to wheel. Looks like Uniclark had a little look there going into turn 7, but he had to back out of that one. Thought better of it in the end. In the meantime, he's got Lecky closing in on these guys as well. So Lecky can see these guys battling it out. He knows that if they come together or if they have a moment, he'll be right there to capitalise. Or we maybe even go for a move here in the final 4 laps of this race. You never know what's going to happen here. Grandad Steve looks like he has got around Lionsfoot and Thorsten for P8. We missed that on the stream, but Lionsfoot's going to come over into an attack here from Thorsten. Thorsten with that straight line speed in that BMW, you can see absolutely gaining on those Megans down that back straight. Wherever there's a high top speed in these touring cars, the BMW is absolutely excelling. As Thorsten, I'm sure, will be looking to get that P9 spot off of Scotty in the closing laps here of this race. Demoby is about to start the ninth lap of 12 here for the feature race. He's got 0.2 of a second here to Lightblade. Very close on the track here as they come towards the first corner. Can Lightblade go for a move? I don't think he's close enough this time around, but these guys, nothing to separate them. Lightblade very late on the brakes, had to lock up there in order to avoid contact with Demoby, but at the moment Demoby just doing enough to hold on to the lead. Remember that Demoby has a 1 second penalty, Lightblade has a 2 second penalty. So even if Lightblade does get past him, he still has to pull out a gap of at least a second if he wants to win this race. It's doable, but as the laps tick down and as the time ticks away in this feature race, it looks like Demoby, the championship leader, has got the upper hand at the moment. The console not able to shake off the challenge of Stealth Sheep at the moment for the final podium spot. Let's have a look at the penalties. It looks like the console is without a penalty. Stealth Sheep with a 2 second penalty. So even if Stealth Sheep does get past the console, he's still got to pull a gap of at least 2 seconds if he wants to finish on the podium in this feature race. Thank you everyone for joining us. Cole Houghton says, no mistakes now, Lightblade. Well, Lightblade is currently P2, Cole, so it's not going as well as he would have hoped in this feature race. He's got a clean sweep so far in this round 4 of the RTCC. Took pole position for the sprint race, then took the victory as well, followed by pole for this feature race. So it's been perfect so far for Lightblade. And he's taken the lead here. It looks like he's got ahead of Demoby. While we were looking there at Smithy, Lightblade is up into P1, makes the move up the inside of turn 9. Looks like he's stuck, made it stick as well. He's now got to pull a gap of at least a second here on Demoby if he wants to win this feature race. But Demoby's sticking with him, and as long as he can stay in that slipstream, Demoby will take the win here. We've got just over 3 laps to go in the feature race. Lightblade with the lead on the track, but he's got to pull a gap of a second if he wants to win. Demoby's sticking with him. Our championship leader will want to hold on to this victory in the classification here and gain some points on our current second place man Smithy, who's down in P5 having a torrid evening. He looks like he's got round Uniclark, but Uniclark still right on the back of him as they come down the pit straight. Can Uniclark go for a move and push Smithy even further back down the order? Looks like Smithy's got it for now, but Uniclark looking very hungry for that position. Stealth Sheep not letting the console go, but the console's pulled out a little bit on that lap. The console was a fraction of a second faster than Stealth Sheep that last time around. So Alex doing a great job here in a final podium spot and hasn't got a penalty. It's unique at the top 4 guys in that he doesn't have a penalty from the race director. So Alex looking good here for a podium if he can keep it together in these last couple of laps. Lightblade leading the race, 0.2 of a second here over Demoby. Jason Hurley will be absolutely gutted to know that Lightblade has a 2 second penalty. So as Demoby stays within a second, then Demoby will take the win in the classification regardless of the on-track positions. I see these guys locking up coming through turn 7, feeling the pressure. We know what's at stake here in this feature race. Flaky says interesting race, and it looks like it's Cole Houghton said no mistakes now, like it wasn't Jason Hurley. And Tuggy Bear's saying I can see the console taking this one. Well, console at the moment P3, Tuggy. I think that comment might have been a little while ago, but console still doing a good job here in the final podium spot at the moment. He is being closed in on again now by Stealth Sheep this time around though. Stealth Sheep's gained a little bit on this lap so far. The console doing a solid job though. Lightblade has got 0.7 of a second here of a lead over Demoby. We know he needs over a second at least if he wants to win this feature race. We've got just over 2 laps left to go. This should be a very close race between these guys. We know Lightblade's got the pace. Can he pull out over a second gap here in these last couple of laps? He's already got 0.8, so he's got to go a little bit faster than Demoby on these last 2 laps. But we know slipstream is key around Catalunya, so as long as Demoby can stay there, he will have this race. And it sounds like Demobi's got a penalty, but so has Lightblade. Lightblade's got another penalty, so it's still as you were. The state of play has not changed in the relation to these penalties. It's still Lightblade with a 2-second. It looks like, I think, yeah, Lightblade with a 3-second penalty. Demobi with a 2-second penalty. Demobi knows if he stays within a second, he can still take the win. Demobi there came a team radio saying that Lightblade doesn't need the second, but he does, because Demobi and Lightblade picking up a 1-second penalty in that final sector of that lap at the same time. So as it stands, it's as you were with these guys. These front two have been battling out, race long. They've been going at it non-stop, but it looks like Lightblade locks up a little bit. He's going to have a compromised exit there coming up towards turn 7. But it's still very, very close. Not much separating these guys at all on the track. The console holding on for P3. Still got a bit of a gap here to Stealth Sheep. And Smithy and Lecky look like they're about to go wheel to wheel here. Lecky's going to look to the inside here at turn 7. But he's going to back out of that one. Thinks better of it. Lecky knows when to go for a move and when not to. Very, very clever, very wise, intelligent driver is Lecky, the coordinator at this league. But he's right up the bumper here of Smithy as they come through turn 8. And riding the curb. Not too much actually from Lecky there. Very, very tidy there on the exit, and he's going to have a nice slipstream coming down towards turn 9. Is he going to look to the inside? He might go for a dive. No, he thinks better of that one. Had to get out of that very, very quickly, because Smithy there braking a little bit early maybe than Lecky anticipated. But Lecky here really looking like he wants this in the last couple of laps here. Lightblade is onto the... It's about to start the last lap. He's got very close now. It's about a second, just under a second. The gap at the front. Lightblade, if he can go a little bit faster, then Demobi on this final lap will take the win. The penalty situation has not changed. It's still the same as it was. The console. The console's picked up a penalty here by the looks of it. 2 seconds. So the state of play with him and Stealth Sheep seems to have changed a little bit. Stealth Sheep now, if he can get past the console, will take the final podium spot. The console now has got massive pressure on his shoulders on the final lap of this race. Smithy and Lecky still very close on the track. It looks like Smithy locks up going into turn 1. Lecky's going to get a lovely run here coming out of turn 2. They're going to go bumper to bumper. It looks like Smithy holding on coming through turn 3, but Lecky's going to slot beautifully into the slipstream, and he's going to get a lovely run coming onto this little straight. Coming under the bridge now, and Smithy's going to go defensive very early on. Lecky alongside him, but Smithy holding it on the inside. Lock up there from Smithy. Can Lecky get a good run coming out of turn 3? He's going to put alongside him now. He's going to have the outside. Smithy's going to have the inside line. He will be able to defend pretty handily. Looks like Smithy holding on to position on the inside. Can he keep it? Can he keep his head on the exit? Looks like Smithy has got the position at the moment. Good driving there from those two. Smithy holding his nerve at the moment. Lightblade has got a 7/10 of a second lead in coming into the last half a lap here of our feature race. He needs a second if he wants to win this race. Demobi sticking to the task very nicely. All he needs to do is just stay behind Lightblade and he will take the win. But Lightblade with a hell of a exit through turn 9 gains a little bit of time there. It's all about these last few corners now. The gap 8 tenths. Lightblade needs to gain 2 tenths in this final sector if he wants to win this race. It's going to be very close. It's going to be very tight. This is cagey as hell between these guys. Lightblade brings it over the sausage curb, takes plenty of curb on the exit. What a great drive from Lightblade out of the final corner. This could be the race win. He's got a gap of just over a second by the looks of it. Here he comes. Lightblade out of the final corner. All he needs is 1 second and he's going to take the win. It looks like he's done it. Lightblade takes the win here for the feature race. Just about. Had a hell of a final sector there in that race. Managed to pull out the gap just enough there. Lightblade takes the win. Demobi second. Console completes the podium. Stealth Sheep fourth. Then we got Uni Clark fifth. Smithy, a disappointing one for him in 6th. Lecky couldn't overhaul him on the last lap there. Finishes 7th. Thorsten in the BMW does a great job in 8th place. Holds off Lionsfoot. Looks like Thorsten actually got past Lionsfoot in the closing laps there. That Guitar Dude and Kembo very, very close out the last corner now. Can Kembo get that Guitar Dude here in the dive knocking to this race? It looks like that Guitar Dude's going to hold on for 10th place. Kembo 11th. Bobby Dazza finishes in 12th place. Then Grandad Stee is coming round into the last chicane now. Disappointing feature race for Grandad Stee. He showed fantastic pace in the practice, the qualifyings and the sprint race, but it's been a disappointing one for him. He will come round with in 13th place for our feature race. What a race between Lightblade and Demobi. I honestly thought that Demobi was going to stay within a second coming into the final sector there, but he's done a brilliant job of managing to stay within, and it looks like actually Demobi did pick up a penalty on the last lap there, so regardless of that gap, it would have been, as you were, it would have been Lightblade taking the win. What a race, guys. Thank you to everyone watching on the stream. Tuggy Bear says, what a finish. Daniel Stalker says unlucky Demobi. Cole Houghton says what a race. Brilliant job from Lightblade, taking a clean sweep here for round 4 of the RRTCC here at Catalunya. Pole position in both races, victory in both races. Brilliant job. Demobi and Console complete the podium. Thank you very much for joining us live on the stream. We'll see you on Thursday. Join us on the RubbingsRacing channel for Thursday Night Lights 18. And be sure to join us next week for the RRTCC. We'll be for round 5. And we will be at, let me just check, we're at Red Bull Ring next week for the RRTCC. So be sure to join us next on Tuesday next week at 8 PM GMT. We'll see you guys then. Take care and peace.